Good evening. Hello, Frank and Frank.
Calling
Good
sweetie.
evening, Mr. Pez.
Hi, good evening, Lillian. How are you?
Please, can you see the screen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I can see the screen.
All right, thanks.
Welcome.
Hello. Hello, welcome, madam.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Lillian.
Hi.
Okay.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this panel discussion. I believe I'm audible and you can all hear me. Okay, a few ground rules before we commence. Kindly mute all your microphones. Then there will be a session for questions and answers. So when we get to that session, you'll be allowed to use the hand raised icon, and then you'll be called to ask your questions. Good evening to you once again, and thank you all for joining us to commemorate this year's International Women's Day. On behalf of PMI Ghana chapter, I'm delighted to welcome everyone to this session, which focuses on empowering women in the project management space and also advocating for the use of digital innovation tools in order to enhance the work that we do as project managers. My name is Lillian Lawe, and I have the privilege of moderating this session. Our theme for this year's International Women's Day is empowering women in project management and embracing digital innovation and technology. This theme was carefully selected so as to emphasize the importance of technology. Hello, please kindly mute. Thank you very much. Okay, so this theme, empowering women in project management and embracing digital innovation and technology, was carefully selected by our team to emphasize the importance of technology and innovation in our work area as project managers, and also champion the cause of empowering women to join this field. And to help us discuss this, to help us delve deeper into this topic, we have 4 astute women who are experts in their respective fields, and they are going to be our panel members for this evening. I'd like to start by introducing all of them. We will begin with Miss Jumoke Lafenwa. Ms. Jumoke Lafenwa is a market research expert, a project management professional, a professional business analyst, a ProSci change management practitioner, and a Scrum Master Agile certified. She's been serving in multiple industries across the African continent with performance excellence for over 21 years. With an all-encompassing training and experience in the program management coordination, Jumoke manages projects with focus on consumer behavior, leadership management, change and brand health in sub-Saharan Africa. In the past 17 years, she has served as a project and program coordinator for projects in Ghana across all 16 regions and around Africa for both local and international agencies. As the managing partner of Oaken Value Limited, she has led the transformation of organizations to a global brand in market research and advisory services. Customer satisfaction and people management and efficient process development have been the primary driver of Jumoke's success story. As a transformational leader and strategist, she brought lots of experience to bear when she was elected as the president for the PMI Ghana chapter in 2018 and re-elected in 2020. The chapter experienced tremendous growth in terms of membership, brand awareness, and member engagements, just to mention a few. Jumoke has a bachelor's in agricultural engineering from the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, and a Master of Business Administration from Central University. She also has a Master in Research from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. Among her professional certifications are the ProSci Change Management Practitioner, Professional in Business Analysis, PMP, and Scrum Master. She is also a PMI authorized trainer. She's the mother of two very intelligent and beautiful daughters who are already making their own marks in their strides. And the icing on the cake is she's immediate past president of the Project Management Institute Ghana chapter. Ms. Jumeke, you are welcome. What are your expectations for tonight?
Hello, good evening. Thanks for having me. Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, thank you. My expectation tonight is to learn whilst I celebrate with other women on this very exciting day, recognizing as we are recognized not only today, but today is earmarked to celebrate us. So I'm looking forward to learning and enjoying myself as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are all looking forward to enjoying ourselves, and we are glad you could join us for today's session. Our second panel member is in the person of Engineer Dr. Enyona Pekpena. She is a fellow of the Ghana Institute of Engineering, the current president of Women in Engineering Ghana, and the founding president of ECG Women in Engineering chapter. She has worked in ECG for over 17 years and is currently the manager for IT project delivery and also the PMO lead. She is currently the theme lead for female retention and leadership in engineering for the Women in Engineering Committee, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, and also serves as the deputy chair for WIE, Federation of African Engineering Organizations. She serves on the board of PMO Global Institute Ghana and is a member of the nominations committee of PMI Ghana and a council member of GHIE. From an early age, she possessed a heightened sense of discipline, responsibility, confidence, commitment, and a focus on achieving results, which has led her to work in various leadership roles. Engineer Dr. Enyona Pekpena obtained her bachelor's degree in electrical and electronic engineering from KNUST in 2000, where she specialized in telecommunications and computers. She discovered her love for academia and obtained a Master of Science degree in management with specialization in information technology and project management from 2003 to 2004 at Colorado Technical University, USA, and followed it up with a doctorate degree in management from the same university with a concentration in project management from 2014 to 2017. Her research interests include IT project management, project performance management, and end value management. Her pursuit of excellence has led her to undertake certifications, including Project Management Professional, which is the PMP, IT Service Management Expert, and IT Service Certified Ethical Hacker Expert. She's a council member of Ghana Institute of Engineering and a member of PMI Ghana in USA. Engineer Dr. Enyona Pekpena, we are Glad to have you join us for tonight's panel discussion. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be part of this discussion or this meeting. And I want to thank PMI Ghana for giving me this opportunity. Just like Jumoke said, I'm happy, and I know that before I leave here, I'll learn a lot. And that is why I always love PMI Ghana. I always learn something before I leave. Even though I'm a panelist today, I know that I'm also going to benefit from this meeting. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Madam. With
And
PMI
happy
Ghana.
women, and happy women, International Women's Day to everyone.
Thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day to you too. And we are truly glad and privileged to have you join us. Our third panelist for tonight is in the person of Miss Blessing Obeng. She is the Chief Information Security Officer of Supertech Ghana Limited. She has over 13 years working experience in information technology engineering. Prior to working with Supertech, Blessing had work experience with Computer Information System Limited, where she rose from Senior Service Desk Analyst to the position of Senior Systems Administrator. Upon joining Supertech Ghana Limited, Blessing held various positions, including Team Lead Information Security Officer, Quality Manager, and Information Security Manager. And by dint of hard work, she now holds the position of the Chief Information Security Manager, an enviable position which is male-dominated. Some of her achievable projects include managing the technical aspects in security projects, including leading and implementing security systems configuration and maintaining them. 2 years of experience as system security implementer, dealing with large-scale security systems and implementation. Blessing has completed several large-scale projects in Ghana as a system security implementer, such as TrapX Cyber Security, including setting up a deception grade system, deception tokens, and taking security measures in placing HoneyNet in strategic places on the network. She also served as the technical lead in the implementation of Asigra Cloud Backup, an agentless hardware and platform agnostic cloud backup, recovery and restore software solution that supports servers, virtual machines, desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, and cloud-based SaaS and PaaS applications and platforms. She's a proud alumni of GIMPA, a passionate commercial poultry farmer, and she's blessed with 2 beautiful daughters. Good evening, Madam Blessing, and we are happy that you're joining us tonight.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm here to learn and also contribute my quota. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Our next panel member is in the person of Madam Juliana Glover. We'll be taking her profile. She is an astute public policy, gender inclusion, and project management consultant and trainer with over 12 years experience working in various policy advisory and evaluation capacities in the Presidency of the Republic of Ghana. She is a gender equality activist and a period poverty eradication advocate with passion for girls' education and leadership development. Mrs. Plofia is the founder and executive director of Girls Excellence Movement, GEM, a volunteer-driven non-profit body with the goal of building capacity for girls to bridge the gender gap in leadership across disciplines. She's a proud alumni of University of Ghana, the New York University in USA, University College London in the UK, and Sankangkwon University of South Korea. Also known as Gem Julia, she is a mentor to many and a mother to Joseph, Jaden, and Jason. Welcome tonight, Miss Juliana. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello to my co-panelists. I look forward to insightful discussion and going home with new ideas and lessons. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, to zoom in for our main agenda for the day, we are looking at the theme Empowering Women in Project Management and Embracing Digital Innovation and Technology. So, starting from Madame Jumoke, we know that some women shy away from managing projects, even though they have the needed skill sets and competencies to succeed. So we would like to find out what are some of the ways and methods that we can prepare women to assume roles in project management so that they can serve in different capacities when it comes to program and project management.
All right, thank you very much for the question. First of all, I would love to define who a woman is, because sometimes, because of our experiences, conscious and unconscious biases, we even forget who we are. Who is a woman? A woman is the very existence of nature. She's the embodiment of supreme energy. A woman can be said to personify ageless beauty, selfless love, purity, grace, and dignity. She symbolizes virtue, great inner strength, tremendous patience, resilience, and fortitude. What are some of the traits of a woman? Nurturance, sensitivity, sweetness, supportiveness, gentleness, warm, cooperativeness, feminine, understanding, understanding situations. Okay, and some of the characteristics of a woman is honesty and trustworthy, authentic or genuine, independent and self-reliant, intelligent and curious, self-confident, supportive, empathetic, compassionate, and forgiving. So, with these traits and characteristics and who a woman is, you would agree with me, if you're a man or a woman, that women are endowed with great traits and qualities to be great leaders. However, as individuals, like I said, based on our experiences and with my few years of working experience, I've come across biases even from women. Unconsciously, they are not even aware what they're exhibiting. And so it's important that from that standpoint, we know who we are and what we bring to the table. Now, how do we encourage women? First of all, we need to encourage ourselves, because you need to know your self-worth. And that makes you bold, confident to apply for positions. Sometimes I've heard, or young ladies have contacted me that I saw this, I would love to apply, but I don't think I qualify. I don't think I will be given the consideration. I have been attending interviews. Most of the time, I'll be the only female person and facing male panelists. And they would even ask you, what are you doing here? What do you think you can do in this, if this role is given to you, seeing that men plays the role? So first of all, we the women, we need to understand this. Organizations need to understand what women bring on board. Raising awareness of the scope of activities handled by women. We need to tell our stories. We also need recruiters to tell our stories for us. Job descriptions should be written void of gender. Sometimes you look at the job description and you can tell that it is a man they are looking for. And if you are raised without a bias and you apply as a woman, it becomes an issue, even with the panelists. Create and promote networking opportunities. You know, we've heard lots of networking, but networking are actually in phases. There are different types of networking based on what you are looking for. We have idea networking, we have influencing networking, we have development networking, we have career networking, we have social networking, we have mentors and sponsors. I think women need to understand that we know you are mothers, we know you are parents, we know you are wives. When you meet to network, what is the basis of the network? Are you networking in the sector of maybe parenting, motherhood? If it is career-wise, focus on career and talk about your challenges, talk about your achievement. It's okay to celebrate yourself. So organizations need to provide that enabling environment where we can celebrate our successes and you can also be confident because there is strength in showing our weaknesses. Most of the time, we are reluctant in showing our weaknesses, but it's actually strength to show your vulnerability. So be vulnerable when you've gotten it wrong, but there has to be that enabling environment in the organizations to encourage women to take this opportunity to be vulnerable, to celebrate their wins. When you're celebrating your wins, it's not pride. Yeah. So these are some of the ways I think and organizations should encourage women to participate in special programs, open the doors, encourage them, and have mentors, for these young ladies. That's what I have to say for now.
Thank you so much for sharing and for defining who a woman is. I loved how you said she's someone who is self-confident, honest, trustworthy, cooperative. But then again, we still experience some challenges when it comes to women backing or taking roles in project management. So let's hear from you, Madam Blessing. What do you think, in your experience, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges women face while pursuing a career in project management? We want you to highlight some of the challenges that exist in looking at our cultural setting as well. What are some of the challenges that we face daily and it stops us from pursuing a career in program and project management?
Thank you for the question. As Madame Jumoke said, women, we have a lot of things going for us. At the same time, the environment, the organization need to be welcoming, need to put in certain structures in place so that it will be easier for women to also take on big projects and the rest. And one of the challenges I faced when I started was, the first thing is they are looking at you and they're trying to find out, can you do the job? It's the same thing Madame Jumoke said. And you need to prove yourself. And most of the time, the men assume that because you are soft, you also don't want to be too pushy. When you're trying to work on certain projects, you tend to lay back a bit. And some of these things, you can only navigate them when you have managers or other women who are ready to support you and also ready to guide you. And if you don't have a good mentor to help you, to train you and show you the way, it's a bit difficult. And if you're working in an environment where you don't know also that maybe you're working on a software project or something, you need to have some IT knowledge, you need to have some form of software skills so that you're able to understand the project better. So at the end of the day, you have to upgrade yourself, you have to train yourself and know exactly what you are bringing on the table. So this bias and looking down on women is a bit, it's not much now, but most of the time you tend to face issues like that in certain environments. And I feel that's some of the challenges we face. And at the same time too, we need to have a flexible environment and work schedule. You have children to take care of, you have home to take care of, you have various things that you have to handle as a mother. And you can't work extra hours sometimes. Sometimes you have to work extra hours because of the nature of the project. So it's up to you and the communication with your organization to give you a very flexible, to give you a flexible work environment to be able to work in. And another challenge is you go into certain environments, and if you're not careful, they've already judged you by just being a woman, and you also want to avoid things like that. So most of the times, you just have to make sure that you have all your information and you do your background checks, you understand exactly the kind of project you are going into. And before you start your kickoff meeting and everything, you know exactly how to go about it and also lay the information down for everybody to carry and also to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're quite right about perception people have about women, especially when they want to venture into such fields. So, Madam Pekpena, we've heard about the role of organizations, or the fact that organizations need to take certain steps to help women develop in their careers as project managers. Can you help us highlight some of the steps organizations should take in order to attract more women into the project space, sorry, and in order to also support their career growth? So in your experience, what are some of the practical steps you would encourage organizations to take in order to help women get attracted to this profession?
Okay, thank you very much, Lillian. And thank you very much for the question. I will say that for some of the practical steps that organizations can take, I'll say one of the steps is to build a supportive environment where women feel that they are welcome, and also give them the opportunity to be able to have some form of support. Example is to, for instance, have a daycare facility for the women who have just given birth. And also, one of the things that organizations can do is to develop, especially for ECG, we are just lucky that we have a gender policy that has been launched in the organization. It's one thing getting the gender policy launched, and then it's another thing making sure that all that has been listed in the gender policy is being implemented. A second thing is to provide some form of mentorship for the females in project management. We will, in project management, you realize that we have some females who are very well experienced in project management, and then we have some who have just entered the field of project management. Organizations can help the females build up a very good mentorship opportunity. In project management, you can have a mentor being a male. A female can have a mentor being a male. But it's to be able to close the gap, I'll say that it's important that senior females mentor the junior females. There was a program I attended today, and I was saying that it's important that every project manager who is a female, or every project manager, should have a mentor and also a mentee, so that this effort has to be deliberate. You don't just say that I have a mentor when you don't have a mentor. You should be able to establish that structured mentoring system. So organizations can help do that, and also provide opportunities for training and development. Females should not just wait for opportunities. There are so many opportunities out there online. And so we need to take advantage. Organizations may provide internet access. They may provide, maybe they one or two times, they may allow you to go for conferences to build up, or they may offer training for you. But after that, you need to build up yourself. We need to build up ourselves. And there are so many opportunities online that we can use. I was telling someone today that there's this facility which is called Coursera, and that offers quite a lot of free online courses, and these can help the females build up their career. Another way we can also, organizations can also support the females is to offer flexible working arrangements for them. Right now, we all know that our economy is quite difficult. And we have remote working facilities and tools that can allow females to work, or can allow flexible working hours. You are at home, all right, but you can also be working. In fact, I say that I do a lot of work myself when I'm home as compared to when I'm in the office. And so these are some of the things that organizations can do to be able to attract more women into project management, to be able to help females build up their careers in project management. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Building a supportive environment, organizations should do that in order to get more of us females on board, in order to pursue our career in project and program management. Thank you so much, Madam. Now we want to look at diversity and inclusion. How will we, as women in leadership, use our influence to promote diversity and inclusion in our environment? Madam Juliana, can you help us with that, please? Hello, Madam.
Thank you for the question. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, loud and clear.
Okay, and thanks to my colleagues for the insightful discussion so far. Your question was, what do we women in project management do to encourage diversity and inclusion in our environment? And the first thing I would say is that we as women need to learn to support each other. So as project managers, we need to support other women that are interested in the field, other women that are young professionals joining the field, from a beginning point. We all need to lend a hand to them and support them to become comfortable, to learn the rope and play their role meaningfully. We also need to sponsor others. Sometimes when training and mentorship and all those challenges that were earlier mentioned, as women in the field, if we lend a supportive hand by sponsoring some of the young professionals, then they get the education and the training that they lack and do not have access to at their earlier stages. We also need to mentor one another. Yes, it is true that women could be mentored by men, which is happening in most of our environment, but there is still a challenge where women hold back from approaching or engaging meaningfully with their male mentors because of course, the gender bias and sexual harassment issues. Because of that, even when the male mentors are willing to actually mentor the young ones, they hold back. So in such relationships, they don't get enough from those relationships as their male counterparts get from their male mentors. So it is very important for we, the women in the field, to open up and mentor more. So by mentoring more, we will be paving the way for more of them to enter the field for us to have enough inclusion. We also need to advocate against bias, not just turn a blind eye when we see bias happening around us. So for instance, there's a training happening, let's say in Ada, and the planning is happening in the head office in Accra. And a young professional who just made a baby is supposed to be on the list. A male team lead who is compiling the list thinks, oh, she just gave birth, she might not be able to go, without even consulting her. If we happen to be, or any of us who are seniors in the profession are available, it is time to speak up, not to just turn a blind eye. It is to say, talk to her first. You don't know what plans she has, and you don't know what support system she has. So she needs to be consulted first before a decision is made to take her off the list just by assumption. And these assumptions happen a lot. That is why most times women in project management, and even of course other fields, have limited access to training, professional training on the job, because we get taken off the list by a lot of assumptions that the person assuming usually thinks that it's in your own interest. They are trying to be supportive, but then it doesn't help when you are not consulted before such a decision is made. So my take will be that as women in the field, whenever we see such biases being used to influence decisions, we should speak up, not just turn a blind eye. We should also advocate for the young professionals in the field, advocate for them to be included in lists for opportunities, to be given opportunities to try out on projects, on project activities. And we also need to document our story and our journeys and share same with the younger generation so they can be encouraged to take up project management. Sometimes they hear most stories around the challenges. They don't get to hear about the highlights. So it becomes difficult for them to aspire to the field when they don't hear much about the highlights. Again, sometimes too, in some project environments, they get to hear more about the highs and they don't hear about the lows. So when they venture into the field and they are hit with one mistake or they are hit with one low, they think that's the end and they give up. So we need to share our stories, both the highs and the lows, constantly at every opportunity that we get, so the young ones can know that, oh, it's okay. So when they make a mistake, they know, oh, it's okay. Auntie Jumoke has said it before that she didn't meet a project deadline that was difficult, but she overcame it and she's succeeding now. Or Auntie at ECG had once upon a time shared a very high point where she achieved a very high success, and she shared it boldly without hiding it or covering it like we are always encouraged to do, to be modest. So my last point will be that let's share our stories from both the high notes and the low notes to encourage more to join the field for us to improve in diversity.
Thank you so much. It is time for us as women to speak up so that we would not allow the assumptions to continue and break the biases. Thank you so much, Madam Juliana, for sharing. Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that it's best for women to have female mentors because sometimes the males cannot really relate to our experiences and probably our level of emotions. How about looking at building and maintaining strong networks, especially with regards to maybe getting some males who are in leadership roles, getting connected to them for us to learn as well and also become experts in our field. So, what are some of the productive ways that women can approach networking in order to get the results without having people get any wrong misinterpretation, without having them think our motives are for something else, but rather approach them and build and maintain strong networks so that we can also grow in our respective fields. Madam Jumoke, how do you think we should approach networking?
All right, thanks for the opportunity again, and thanks for the question. I think most of the time when we talk about networking, people focus on the socializing aspect alone. But networking is defined as the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. So, as women in project management, you need to know what you are after. In my earlier submission, I hinted that you need to know you need to know that there are types of networking engagement. So you need to identify at a, at a, at any particular phase you are. If you are in idea droughts, you need idea, then you know that you need idea network, and then you need to identify the possible people that you can get ideas from through brainstorming, calling, and all that. As important as we celebrate women today, we are not saying reduce the size of the goalpost for us or lower the standards. We are just saying that there are biases there that we have been operating under for years globally, and in as much as we don't talk about it, it it may go unnoticed. And until you are in a leadership position, usually when the marginalized or the minority are talking about challenges they go through, the majority have difficulty appreciating it. And it's okay. You can't understand. For instance, you can't understand how pregnancy feels like as a man. You can't understand how contraction feels like as a man. Only women that have given birth can relate to that. So it's okay that um, if you don't, if you are not a woman, not to understand what we are talking about. However, it becomes challenging if you are not willing to learn and understand what you are going through and be willing to um, make the raise the bar for us to be on the same plane or close to the plane with you. I've heard some of the submissions, women need to take care of children, which is okay. But I grew up in a home that I didn't even know that there were different chores for boys and girls, because every boy and girl did the same chores at home. We all swept, we all washed cars, we all climbed trees to go and pluck mangoes, we all played football, we all played table tennis, we all did everything. We all fixed electronic because I won't say whether fortunate or unfortunate, we had an engineer as a father. We were all introduced to basic maintenance things at home. And it was as I grew up that I realized that, okay, this is actually for men and this is for women. But I was privileged to have a dad that says, no, you must be balanced. And it has helped me tremendously in the way I think. So it's important that we all understand, especially for those who have kids, because it starts from home. Raise your sons to know that house chores um, are meant for both girls and boys. And so if women have this support from home, you will not be thinking of organizations that is paying you salary to shift or adjust working schedule to suit you. Because then when you are pregnant, is we are pregnant for the man and the woman. So that is just beside the point. So when it comes to networking, as I said, I've defined what broadly networking is, and then we have what we call leadership networking, and it's all about developing and using your networks in a way that builds relationships and strengthens alliances in service of your organization's work and goals as well as yours. I have seen people break bridges. It is suicidal. In your networking journey, you don't break bridges. Not every relationship will be as you want, but you need to find ways and means by developing yourself to be able to handle people differently, but maintain relationships because it's a form of networking. You may think you don't need someone today. You may end up needing the person in the next 2 3 years. And how productive, how strong you are in terms of your career is kind of dependent on your net worth, the kind of the worth of your networking. Okay, so as I have said, there are different types of networking, but you have to be intentional. If it is ideas you are looking for, you deliberately go for the environment that would enable you get ideas. If it is influence, there are opportunities that have come my way that was based on the kind of influence in terms of networking that I have. You just give a call, a WhatsApp message, and you will be shocked at the extent people are willing to go for you. If it is about developing yourself that we all need to be doing constantly, I'm so happy Ayana mentioned Coursera. They are free courses, and you will be shocked at the number of free courses that I have done January 1st up until today. And I realized that there is always room for growth. And one of the reasons you should continue developing yourself is that it keeps you younger. If you want to remain younger and be relevant, you should keep developing yourself. If it is career network, you have to be deliberate and intentional and go for that. So it is you knowing what networking is and you being deliberate and intentional, taking notes, writing your thoughts down, and marking yourself, you know, and ensuring that you are meeting your goals if you're having challenges. And that is, I've heard um, some of the speakers already talk about mentoring. You don't wait for somebody to call you that I want to mentor you. You can as well go out and identify people in the areas that are of interest to you. Most importantly, aim at giving first. Give first before you get. Don't approach networking based on you are going to grab, you are going to get, but look for opportunities to be of assistance, of blessing to someone, and then you will realize that it will come back to you in hundredfold. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. It will come back to you in 100 folds. That's exciting. Networking needs to be intentional. And now it says that it's not about who you know, but who knows you and who will know you if you don't make an impact when you meet with them or if you don't influence them. So it's always best that as women in our in navigating through our careers, we should be intentional and also develop ourselves as both madams said. Thank you so much. Now we want to look at embracing digital innovation and technology in our space, in the program and project management environment. So how can women get involved in the application of technology in their work or in leading successful projects? Madam Blessing, if you can help us, because society keeps pushing the idea that women should shy away from technology and leave it to men to handle. Meanwhile, that shouldn't be the case. So we want, how can women also be inspired to use technological tools to help them lead successful projects?
Thank you for the question. Um, with the current trend of technology, I believe everybody is using one application or the other. And lately, there's a lot of new softwares coming on board to help people. And technology has greatly improved project management in a number of ways through collaboration too. And it has made it easy for people to connect. Unlike before, where you have to travel and go and set a meeting before you get the people to come and sit with you. And sometimes, if you don't plan it well, you might even lose a day without having the meeting. But now, I believe after the pandemic, everybody have come to accept that we can meet anywhere and we can plan anywhere. And technology has made it easy for us. We can, like what we are doing now, we are able to connect from our various homes and wherever we are. And it's easy to communicate with technology. And there are so many applications that has come up which people are using in project management, like the ClickUp, Trello, and Monday, which makes it easy for you to manage your tasks in project management, assign tasks, and also review the tasks. So I will encourage women to try and learn a little bit about the technology that are coming up. The only thing is sometimes some women shy away from technology because they feel it's difficult. They feel it's a bit tedious and hard. But with the current software application happening nowadays, they've made it so easy and simple for you to use. For instance, if you're using Trello, you see pictures, beautiful tags, and dashboard where you can plan your project, you can assign tasks, and you can also work on. You can also see whatever your team members are working on at any point in time. And also with the technology happening, with the new applications and everything, you can also you can also track the time for the project, the budgets, and there are ways to even check the hours spent on every project, the man hours, the project hours, and then the man hours. You can also collaborate with stakeholders and also invite them to to review the project. So there are so many ways, like Auntie Jumoke said, there's Coursera, and then there's also LinkedIn. Where you can learn so many things there. They have so many free courses there. Some you subscribe, and then you have access to learn so many things that will help you with your project management. And also with the application that we use now, you can also back up your project data easily. Not like before where you had to always manage a lot of documents and you have to scan, you have to load them and arrange them in the cabinet, and also you have to protect it. But with the softwares, you can have access to all your data anywhere you are. You can easily back them up into the cloud, and you can easily share information and also meet deadlines. So I believe technology has really helped us in so many ways, and I will encourage a lot of women to go into it and try with a little application coming up. If you don't have any IT skill or any IT knowledge, you can start with ITIL to give you a general IT knowledge on what is happening, just to have the terms and the jargons of ITs. And then you can now go into certain applications and try to understand them better. And some of these applications for project management. Okay, and some of these applications used, they also have
Hello, Madam Blessing. Kindly unmute.
wow.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay. Did you hear the beginning, or I was mute throughout?
No, we heard you. You were recommending some of the ways we can learn and use technology.
Okay. So we have the Trello. Did I speak about the Trello and the ClickUps?
Yes, you did. And you spoke about LinkedIn. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so I would encourage women not to shy away from technology. It's making life easy for everybody. And nowadays we buy and sell online using technology, and you can't run away from it. You will definitely use it. So I would encourage every woman to find means to learn this technology and use them. And if you think you have challenges, speak to someone or join a free course online and you'll be good. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for sharing. Madam Juliana, you do a lot of work with young ladies, mentoring them, coaching them. In your experience, what is their perception so far about technology? And what are some of the ways you can propose that we get them to accept that the world is changing? We need to be innovative in our way of working. We need to use PMIs, project information systems, to help us. How can we inculcate such behavior in young ladies so that it can help them grow easier and faster when they find themselves in the work environment? Hello, please, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
I think, okay, Madam
Can
Juliana.
anyone hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yes.
That's interesting, talking about technology. All right, thank you so much. Talking about technology and interacting with young ladies, I think they see the need to use technology. Unfortunately, however, they've been introduced to the entertainment aspect of technology. So they jump at the entertainment aspect of it to the neglect of the productive and efficient aspect of it that can be incorporated into their daily life and academic life and even in their employment environment. So my take will be that we need to encourage more of them to take up the productive aspect of using technology by deliberately introducing them to these aspects. Like one of my colleague panelists mentioned, Coursera. We have other aspects like Khan. We have the YouTube, the educative aspect of it. They have people on all the social media and other websites that they interact with. They have people there they can engage and follow and learn more about the usage of technology and also about other things that they are studying. For instance, when I was preparing for my project management exam, I actually failed the first attempt in Ghana. And I failed at the time. It was 2 weeks to the time I was leaving Ghana to South Korea for my first master's program. I didn't tell anybody. I packed all my books and quietly left and went to South Korea. So while I was studying for my master's, I did self-study with the help of YouTube instructors that were free to prepare me to take the exam again in South Korea and passed. So that aspect of the YouTube is also there. But unfortunately, young people have been, especially the young girls, have been introduced to entertainment. Another aspect that hinders their usage of technology meaningfully is that unfortunately we have moved some of the limitations we have for women offline to the internet and around the usage of technology, where we think this area is reserved for boys or is reserved for men. So when a woman or a young lady is on a project and the technology aspect of the project shows up, she quickly looks for any guy in her network to come fix it instead of going to get that knowledge herself and fixing it and learning to impact.
Hello. Hello, Madam Juliana. Okay, unfortunately, we lost her, but I believe she would reconnect. Madam Enyanam, you also work with a lot of young ladies when it comes to women in engineering activities. Can you share some of your experience and how we can inculcate the habits of them using or adapting to technology, and how we can also propel them to take career opportunities in project management? Can you throw more light on that for us, please?
Thank you very much, Lillian. For the females, young females, like Juliana said before, most of them have been exposed to technology already, but it's the way they are using the technology mostly for social activities and not to build up their professional lives. And so one of the ways we could work with them, they come with a lot of knowledge in technology. Sometimes they know about tools that we, the senior females, don't know about. So we need to be working with them and directing them. An example is, I'll give an example. We needed to set up a platform, and I know this is easy to do. We needed to set up a platform where we had actually paired mentees with their mentors, and we needed to know what the status of the mentoring was. But these are a number of mentees and a number of mentors. How do we reach them? It's difficult to reach them one by one. And so I called upon one of the younger engineers, or she was actually a student. And I said, develop this form, feedback form, for us to be able to, first of all, set up a WhatsApp platform for all the mentees, develop a feedback form, and I gave her the questions that we need from, or the feedback that we need from the mentees, so that we could use that to reach out to the mentors and say, look, this is the feedback we have had from the mentees regarding, or from your mentors and from your mentees. And so we need to pick this up, we need to prioritize this, we need to. So these are some of the areas. There was another opportunity that we've had in the past. Our websites needed to be maintained, but when it came to content, so this young lady knows how to build a website and knows how to, she knows how to maintain it, but she needed to be directed as to what to post, what content to put in, and all that. So these are some of the ways in which we are directing the younger ones who know a lot about the tools or the technology or the social media platforms, and then the senior engineers, most of them don't know that. So we have even recently decided that to build up the mentoring, or to coach the younger ones, the executive body in the Women in Engineering will have a sort of, so each executive member will have a sort of small working group, so that we could pick those, we could use them to reach out more using technology to build up our career. So these are some of the examples that I can give readily. But when it comes to some of the tools as well, you mentioned project management software that is in use. Some organizations have it, some don't have it. Some use Microsoft Excel, Power Pivot to be able to build up reports. Another tool that we could also use, and we know, is video conferencing tools, like we are here now using Zoom. We could use that for meetings and stuff like that. And then the instant messaging work. We all know that project management has got to do more of communication. So our work as project managers is much more concerned with communicating the milestones, communicating the schedule, the activities, communicating the issues, the risk, how far we have done, what we need to address, paying attention to details, especially in complex projects. And so these tools, especially, I looked at some of the Microsoft, or I was trying to, in preparations, find out what Microsoft 365 actually, some of the apps that Microsoft 365 has. And I came across a lot of apps that we are not using. Especially our organizations have procured Microsoft 365, but we are not using the tools to enhance our work. An example is to-do lists, to manage tasks, to help us address issues as quickly as possible. And then one other tool is the Microsoft Yammer, where internally is a secured platform where internally organizations could use to build, could use as their social media tool. Instead of, when we come to work, WhatsApp, because we do a lot of things on WhatsApp, sometimes it distracts our work. But when you have this internal Microsoft tool, then internally in the organizations, you could use that to build or to address issues, and then to give updates on the status of activities, give updates on the status of reports. I like doing that a lot on WhatsApp. And so that is where teaming up with the younger ones and directing them, and also leveraging on the fact that they know more when it comes to digital tools, to be able to build ourselves together. That is where that partnership is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like the example you gave about the Microsoft 365, where it helps to share documents amongst teams, and it also encourages collaboration among teams. With the advent of innovative tools to enhance the way we work, and now I think there's an AI application called ChatGPT that assists you with practically anything, developing reports, sending emails, and all that. I think it will come to a point where, as project managers, we will need more than just the technological know-how. So, Madam Jumoke, how do you think we can apply power skills or soft skills so that we remain relevant, even with the use of innovative tools or technology? How can we still remain relevant as project managers?
Thank you, Lillian. Relevance is key for any professional that is growth minded. And so, and I love the fact that PMI has reframed what we call soft skills to power skills. Because when you look at the examples or the traits that we have under the power skills, you will realize that it is what we used to call soft skill. I'm also, I find it mind-boggling when I hear people talk about leadership. It's like they remove themselves from the equation and they are just pointing because probably they have someone in mind. This is how a leader should be. A leader should be like this. But I'm happy today to let us all know that leadership actually starts with us. And it starts with what we call leading self. You have to be able to lead yourself. And that is where you know your temperaments, you know your strength. I mean, you need to conduct SWOT analysis on yourself. You need to know who you are, what your strengths are, because these are the things you will take advantage of. And that is where the power skill comes in from. If you are good at communication, for instance, you are an active listener. You are able to hear what people are not saying, which is a skill we all should develop. Sometimes people are talking to you, but they are not really saying what they want to say. So if you're an active listener, you are able to deduce that, and then you can probe. And then in your probing, if you're able to give a good environment where they can be comfortable with you, then they will talk. Okay, so it is you being able to identify that in yourself and then leveraging on your strength, and then the weaknesses, you cannot totally eliminate them completely, but then you can smoothen the rough edges a bit, and then you are aware of them. And that is where emotional intelligence also comes in. When people hear emotional intelligence, they are talking about someone else. This person is like, but emotional intelligence actually starts with us as well, and it helps in the soft or the power skills. You're able to identify your triggers, and then you're able to manage them. You hear some people will say, this person never gets angry. It is almost not true. Some people understand, they identify their triggers, and when the triggers are coming, they have a way of handling it. Like some people, when the anger trigger sets out, they start counting 1 to 10. If the anger is very intense, they count 10 to 1 because it takes more effort to count downwards than to count upwards. So how you develop your power skills or the soft skills is understanding who you are. Have people that when they give their opinion or critique you, you trust their judgments, and they should be around you for feedback. Always. And then you can also do self-assessment. This is where the 360 assessment is very important, especially if the respondents that would conduct this assessment are genuine and sincere, because you would assess yourself, your superior would assess you on the same questions, and then your subordinates will assess you as well. So you get to see yourself, how you see yourself, as well as how these two components, subordinates and superiors, also see you. So all this mix, and you be intentional. You should be able to say, I used to be this, but now I'm this, because it is not enough. Some people, for consulting, they only need your power skills to be the catalyst of bringing two factions and organizations together to solve. They have the solution, but they just need a neutral person with the power skill to be able to coordinate or facilitate the process in bringing them together. Today, I was just thinking of Kofi Annan of blessed memory, and because the election in Nigeria has brought lots of things up, and you can see that people lived together. They felt they were united, but they were actually not united. And I was admiring how Kofi Annan could actually mitigate between conflicting partners, and he had a success story of that. So it means he actually developed his soft or power skills to be able to do that. So it's a deliberate, intentional, and a continuous cycle that we all need to invest in. So we need to understand those skills that are relevant for project management. But since project management is actually a way of life, so when you work and you become better in your power skills, you're actually becoming a better person overall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like the emotional intelligence bit. I was telling my sister to be more emotionally intelligent, and she's on the call. She sent me a message when you said that. So thank you very much. Madam Juliana, with regards to using social media in our space, is it relevant at all as project managers? And how far can we go leveraging on social media to enhance our work, to promote our brand as project managers as well, and in the way we grow in our career path? Is social media relevant, and how beneficial is it to us? Hello, madam. Okay, I think she's having some network challenges.
I'm having
Madam
network
Blessing.
challenge. It keeps crashing.
Oh, so sorry about that. But are you okay now? Can you respond to the question?
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't hear the till end of it, but I heard up to the point of how can we use social media to leverage our brand?
Yes, please. And as project managers as well.
Yes. Since communication is the most integral aspect of what we do as project managers, social media offers us an opportunity to tell our stories from our own perspective. So it is a leveraging point in the sense that it helps you to put yourself out there, to introduce your brand, to tell about your successes and even your weaknesses as and when you feel comfortable sharing that. It's also an environment where you can network easily, because people that it takes a whole lot of networking time to get to know or to have access to are easily accessible on social media. If you could craft a good message and go into their inboxes, they will listen to you. They are ever ready to listen to you in an unofficial way than if you wanted to see them in person in their office environment. So it brings you opportunity to network. It sells your brand. It makes you tell your story, and you can also use it if you are looking for project management opportunities. It's also a good platform. Like LinkedIn, for instance, is a good platform to get gigs and side issues and get other jobs if you want to change job, if you want new projects. So LinkedIn could offer you that. The same LinkedIn could offer you huge opportunities to network with industry players at a level that you wouldn't get to do in person if you were to walk up to their office or write an email to them or write a letter to them. So yes, social media plays a role in what we can do as project managers. And I say that we should use it more. Outside, they use social media a lot for a lot of important things, but on our side, we see it more like a playing field or a place to go release stress.
Entertainment.
But as project managers, I would say that it's not just a place to release stress, as we all know. It's a place that we can actually build our brand and also leverage on networking. Because as like someone earlier mentioned, because of other family engagements, sometimes we shy away from the networking activities. For instance, if a networking activity is scheduled at 8 p.m. and it's happy hour, at that 8 p.m., a mother is trying to rush home to see the child before they go to bed. So they avoid that networking opportunity. But social media gives you that same opportunity online, where you could still be with your kids and engage online with the people that you have sent inbox messages to, that you want to get to know them and they have opened up to you. And then you can schedule meeting times that are convenient for you, and you can get to start building physical network from there. I have networks I have now that have become like family, that would move mountains to support me now, that I met on social media.
Wow, thanks so much. Thanks so much, our panelists. It's been a very insightful discussion. We would like to give opportunity to our audience to ask a few questions. So anybody that has a question, kindly use the hand raise icon, and then we would call you. Okay, Emmanuel Amankwano, please go ahead.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so this question I have has to do with how a woman who is leading a team with somebody like a king as a subordinate, and in our part of the world, the culture, it seems like such people should be given some kind of respect. And this person is not really responding to instructions from the female team leader. How will a woman treat this situation? Thank you.
Okay, we will take the second question. Joanna.
Okay, mine is more of a comment, additional comments to what the panelists said. So maybe you may want to address Emmanuel's question. But however,
Okay,
can I comment on Emmanuel's question briefly?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so Emmanuel, yes, if you've managed, you're a woman and on the platform and you've managed big projects, you realize that most of the operational teams or the functional teams from the functional organizations are quite older, and they are men because our society is male dominated. And so for a woman to manage a team made up of grown-ups, made up of chiefs and kings and what have you, it is important that you are emotionally intelligent. These are the biases that I think Jumoke mentioned at the beginning. The biases are so deep-seated that they don't even know that they are not responding to you because you're a woman, but they feel that they're entitled not to respond to you. So most men bring the domestic setting that we are raised in into the office. And so as a woman in charge of such projects, you need to know your triggers. You need to understand each person you work with. Some of them you would get results when you go one-on-one. It's male dominated, you've got to get results. And so you need to know the personality you are dealing with, the traditional and social background he's coming from. You have to be politically and culturally aware. And these people, you have to manage them separately. When it gets to a point that all the emotional intelligence and the skills are not coming in because the prejudice is they are so deeply seated, then you may want to escalate. But I think when you manage them separately, you get results. I am talking from experience because I manage men. The team I manage has a lot of men, quite a number of them older than me, occupying positions on big boards. And sometimes I manage to get results from the very difficult ones. So if you're a woman on the platform and you have a team of that composition. You've got to learn how to approach each of them. And then I am sure with time, you will get them two into brackets some notes to you. Thank you.
Okay. Can I share a bit on that?
Yes, please go
So,
ahead.
yeah, so I happen to have an experience in that angle where I have on two different fields. I have a colleague in my team who is at the same level with me, who is a paramount chief where he comes from. He's a paramount chief. And I have a subordinate team member who is a sub chief. What I notice in dealing with all of them is that with both of them and the men and the men in the team is that they respect boundaries. So the first thing is to set the ground rules at team level. What is acceptable and what is not at the team level. Set a communication system at the team level that encourages discussion, like to talk to each other around that side, around respect. Once the ground rules are set, you can then go and do one-on-one if you have to on some of the issues. But I've noticed that they respect boundaries, and during team level and during work, they play along. And when they have issues, they'll draw your attention or you hear the gossip, and if you choose to work with the gossip, you call them and do one-on-one with them. And off work sessions, you do that one-on-one. But during work session, if they consistently flaunt the rules that have been agreed on at team level, then whatever repercussions that have been agreed on at team level must apply whether they are traditional rulers or not. Because in the team, they are not traditional rulers, they are your team members. But then you still give them the respect that goes for everyone in the team. They get the same respect that the team member who is a cleaner and not a traditional ruler gets. The same respect. Everyone respects each other in the team, and you as the team leader also, or the project manager also respects them that way. And then when someone consistently flaunts the rule, it shouldn't be considered that because they are traditional rulers, they are treated differently. Then it sets wrong precedents for the rest of the team members who also may have egos they are dealing with. So that is my take on it.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for sharing that. We'll take another question from Frederick and followed by Bernard. Yeah. Frederick, please go ahead. Okay, we cannot hear Frederick. Bernard, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Lillian, thank you very much for the opportunity. And then congrats to the panelists for the insightful and very us. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing and fantastic women across my career path. I mean, one of them is on the panel, and yourself, Lillian, who is moderating, and Engineer Pepe. Now, obviously, I've networked with Jumoke over the period I knew her as president of the PMI. So I just want to find out, in most occasions, what I've realized within my work environment, I am an engineer, I work in the project environment, is that we kind of have a laid-back attitude for some young women, especially those who are coming up within the project work environment. So there's a question in the room, we are brainstorming, we are doing idea marking, focus group engagement, and they are laid back. You know, they wouldn't be the first person to propose an idea. They wouldn't be the first person to raise a hand and make a suggestion or something. Well, my environment is dominated by men, but the few women who are available, sometimes they would like to listen to the room before they make an argument or they put their point across. So my question is, what is really the difficulty for some of you men who are seniors within your work environment? What is really the challenge that women who work within the project field environment have in owning up, coming up, standing out, and being the one everybody is expecting that they will be the first person to bring up the idea. It will be the first person because they are confident, they are assertive, they have experience, and so they are willing to share it. It's like this laid back attitude. I don't know why it's like that, but that's the experience I've had with some of the women that I've engaged with within my work environment. What are some of the ways that they can improve upon this kind of I don't know whether it's a behavior, whether it's an act. What are some of the ways you can encourage our women, especially those of them, the few of them within the project management space, to really be confident and be bold to take up the mandate and bring up those ideas that projects need to succeed? Because, like I'm saying, most of the women I've worked with, some of them, especially the likes of Mrs. Pepe now on the platform, are very bold, but the young ones and the upcoming ones seem to be laid back. I don't know whether it has to do with experience, whether it has to do with exposure. So what are some of the ways that these ladies can pick up quickly when they are in such kind of fora or such kind of environment, so that, they'll be empowered, they'll be confident, and be more assertive on the ideas they have regarding project management? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernard. Madam Lesson, please, you can take that for us.
Okay. I feel most of the time the younger one.
Frederick, hold on, I'll call you.
Hello, Lillian.
Yes, Frederick, right after Madam Blessing, you have the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. I feel most of the time, because of our culture and our upbringing, we are asked to, keep quiet, pay attention, and don't be the first person to talk and all those things. And when you come to the working in the professional environment, it's different. You really have to be bold. You have to be strong and ready to, voice out your ideas and everything. And I also feel the schools, we need to have mentorship in schools, and where students will be encouraged to also speak up. Recently in my workplace, I noticed there's one of this the new staff who just joined. One of the ladies is very quiet, very, very quiet. We can be in a meeting, she will hardly contribute. But when you speak to her one-on-one, she has very nice ideas on the project and how to make it work. But she's very shy. So I took her out for lunch and we had some discussion. We talked about everything. And then she shared some of her fears with me and some of the things that she's facing. And sometimes they are intimidated, the way the men raise their voice, try to contribute. And it's as if they are challenging each other with their ideas. And they feel, oh, maybe if I say this, they will not take my point. So for me, I will encourage the men to always encourage them to talk first. Maybe you can just bring up the topic and then you give them time to go and learn or look up and research on it. Or if it's impromptu, just ask them to be the first to say something. From there, they'll start gaining their confidence, and also the kind of interaction, the environment. If the environment doesn't encourage people sharing ideas easily, it will also translate into the boardroom discussion. So I would say we just have to encourage them and also have to talk to them one-on-one to also help them and mentor them so that they will be confident in themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So our men should also help in empowering our ladies by encouraging them to speak up during such meetings and at other avenues. Thanks so much for sharing. Let's hear from Atim. Frederick, please, you can ask your question now.
Thank you, Lillian. Mine is not sort of a question, but a contribution to the program. I just want to use this opportunity to really have intention Women Day. And as he said, we should empower the women by embracing equity. For me, I look at it, I don't know, to see that whether it is in the DNA of women to be shy of, even if they have their best ideas and contributions to make. As men, we need to create an allyship to give them support so that our women can stand tall with their Benji conference title team, that what men can do, the women can do better. I want to tell you as a man that we men are ready to give you the opportunity to express your intellectual abilities and everything that we do when it comes into project management. We are ready to give you all the support and all the necessary ideas. We sometimes want to run behind you because we know from Dr. Joagri, when you educate a man, you educate individual, but if you try to educate a woman, you have the whole nation being educated. And we know behind every successful man, there is a woman. We also want to tell you that behind every successful woman, there are men. We men are ready to give you all the support to go high as where we have reached and you want to catch up. That's mine for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Atim. So thank you all for sharing. Unfortunately, we've run out of time and we cannot take any more questions. Sorry about that. So we'd like to take the final words from our panelists on encouraging women to venture into the project management field and also adopt the use of technology. Briefly, 30 seconds, everybody. Let's hear your final words, starting from Madame Jumoke, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed myself. My expectation has been met. And I love the feedback or the responses to the questions so far. But I want you to know that when you have been beaten down, when you've heard negative things continuously, you start to second guess yourself. And that is why it appears as women are quiet, they are laid back. So we need to create environment for them to know it is safe, it is okay. And I would also like to encourage women that when you are met with some of these biases we've spoken about, don't take it personal. Sometimes we do better when we know better. So just take it that whoever is propagating that particular behavior doesn't know better. And stay focused, know your goals and strive towards them. It doesn't mean you will not fail or falter, but just rise up when you fail. And make sure that you are emotionally intelligent. It's key. Develop your power skills, which is the same as the soft skills. I hope that men would also help to call sexual harassment. I cannot go into details. The number of sexual harassment situations I was faced for the 4 years I was president. And I kept on asking my predecessors if they face the same thing, disrespect. But I focused on why I stood for the position. And I'm grateful today that when I look back, I didn't let my parents down. So stay focused. Don't take it personal. And surround yourself with people that would hold you up and will give you positive feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will learn to stay focused. So, Madame Pekpena, please, your final words.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lillian. I would like to say that in Ghana, our population, we have about 51% females and then 49% males. And this is to our males. They have been in, or the majority of them are in leadership positions, have been in leadership positions for a very long time. And we still have our society problems. Project management initiatives are used to solve our society's problems. And we need them to champion the case to bring females into leadership positions to manage projects, because females are born with certain natural characteristics that are needed to successfully manage projects. And these characteristics include good planning and organizational skills. We are able to assess risk and uncertainties better. We are great team management skills as well, better negotiation, a great sense of awareness, great interpersonal skills, great communication skills, better management skills. We are more sensitive and careful team members' concerns. And these build up teams and help us to achieve the objectives of projects. And so we need them to come on board, especially the male champions. And the females should know that they cannot be males. They are born with certain characteristics. They should be themselves and they should work assiduously, take advantage of the digital tools available, and then succeed in their work as project managers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Madam Juliana, you take your final words. 30 seconds, please. Okay, I think she's still having some network challenges, so we would hear from Madam Blessing.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay. So my final word will go to young women in project management. I want to encourage you to study the fundamentals, because content gives you confidence. If you have your hand on what it is you are doing as a project manager, it gives you confidence in the first place. And I want to say persist and get the results you want. It's not an easy task, but you can do it. You are equipped with all the unique traits and skill set that comes to you naturally as a woman. And with the training you have, you excel. So go for it. All the best.
That's right. Go for it. Thanks so much. Finally, we would hear from Madam Blessing.
Thank you. My advice goes to the young women coming in. They should not, they should be ready to learn, and also they shouldn't be scared to fail. They should be ready to learn any new stuff. And if there are areas where they lack knowledge, they should go for the knowledge, learn, and then upgrade. Even if they have to fail and they have to start all over again, it's better than not trying and sitting there and then hoping that somebody else will do the job. And nobody will give it to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it. So if you have to work for it, then you have to get the knowledge, you have to go for the seminars, you have to go for the conference, and you have to go to the learning pages like LinkedIn and all those places to learn and get equipped, so that when you start a project, you are able to give the right information, you're able to do your kickoff properly, you're able to give the right scope of work, and everything will be okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, our panelists. You've been wonderful. We are glad you could make it for this session. Thanks for sharing your experiences with us. Thanks for empowering us to be better at what we do as project managers. And I believe the audience have also benefited from this session. Before we go, we would like to hear from the president of PMI Ghana chapter. But then again, you can put in the chat box, just let us know where you joined from, where you listened to us from, just for our records. We would like to know where you are listening to us from. Okay, now let's welcome Mr. Frank Owusu-Asamoah, the PMI Ghana chapter president, to give us his closing remarks.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Lillian. And let me say that I've enjoyed myself. Sorry, let me hear from you if you can hear me, Lillian.
Loud and clear.
Very well, thank you. So, as I said earlier, thank you so much for this session. And I have enjoyed myself from here listening to all these astute women. And I would also like to say that every professional project leader who is looking for results knows that incompetence as well as competence are both gender neutral. Whether the person is a male or female, any serious project leader looking for results wouldn't look at the gender, but will go in for the result-oriented person. So let me say that every male, every man should be willing and ready to provide this enabling environment for every young lady as well as experienced ladies to also excel. And, women are very good team players as well as team leaders. I have had a very fair experience of being mentored by women and also mentoring women. So gender biases must be out of our project systems, and this world will be a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I see even someone joining from Central Africa Republic. Wow, it was good having you. And so we call this session, we call it We're Closed. Thank you so much for staying with us from the very start until now. And this is PMI Ghana. For those of you hearing from us for the very first time, you can go online and Google and know all about us. Anything you require, just send us an email and we'll be ready to respond. You can search for our panelists on LinkedIn and connect with them so that you can get more insights if you require any. Thanks once again. Happy International Women's Day to all women, and God bless us all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
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 Bye. Baby. What's up? Me at the move. Me yeah. Project Management for International Women's Day meeting. No, my Jimmy.
project management for International Women's Day meeting. And Chamiri, online meeting. Me na me moderator. I'm Chamiri.